The Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida, perhaps the most famous stadium in American football. Certainly it's rich in history and tradition, and tonight it's the venue for the last game of the regular season. The number 8 South Carolina Gamecocks against the number 2 Miami Hurricanes. Jimmy Johnson, the head coach of Miami, is looking for his second successive unbeaten season, while Joe Morrison, head coach of South Carolina, is looking to finish in the national top 10 for the first time in the Gamecocks' history. With more information on both teams, here's Jim Kelly.
South Carolina's Joe Morrison knows his team has taken the shots at the nation's best. His Gamecocks stood tall in tough losses to Georgia and Nebraska. They stood proud in a big win over 8th-ranked Clemson. Tonight, the ultimate challenge, 2nd-ranked Miami. It's been 3 years and 31 games since Jimmy Johnson and his Miami Hurricanes have lost a regular season battle. But New Year's Day blahs have kept them from reaching their ultimate goal. In '87, the Canes are 10-0 and are again stalking the national championship.
We join play on the first drive of the game. South Carolina have the ball at their own 46-yard line. It's a big play. 4th down and 1 yard required for the Gamecocks.
That'll be a first down over the right side, blocking by Myers and Calvin Stevens. Ellis picks up the first down, and Myra on the stop. He bench presses 450 pounds, the senior out of Miami.
Well, I think it shows you the difference between these two teams. Carolina got a bowl bid assured, and they're not worried about being number 1. They're worried about winning this game. It's important to them. Take a look at the line, sir, just to the right of the center. See if they get up under the defense and create a hole for Ellis. And they do. You can see it right there. An excellent shot. He had room. He's 6'3", made the first down.
Gotta like the call if you're a Gamecock fan. Motion by Sharp. Ellis, first pass. Dumps it off. Big yardage down that left sideline. Up into territory of Miami goes Harold Green, a 13-yard pickup. Colbert Bain on the stop. Green. And that's one of the things that the coaches of Miami noticed, that Ellis last year might have forced the ball. This year he's laying it off, dumping it off safety valve.
Well, watch the body control. And he never did turn his shoulders. He took a pump, Jimmy, and then he threw the thing right across his body. I haven't seen a guy do that since Joe Namath. He was looking one way and threw it the other way. And what that shows, he knew the receiver was out there. Really didn't have his eyes on him, but he knew there was a safety valve, and he made the play. Maturity. Todd Ellis, still just a sophomore.
And you saw Todd kind of stretching his shoulder. Frank Sadler told me before the game he's been bothered by a bad shoulder for about 3 weeks. Green, big hole right side again. Churning down to the 27-yard line, and Fullington on his second stop of the night. Close to first down yardage, should be a first down.
The thing that they're concerned about, the Miami defensive people, is that the Miami defense likes to run out of there. They're pass rushers, and they're not real big on the inside. You see right there, number 94, Greg Mark getting too high and pushed out, and then a little delay and a quick handoff, and bang, they're up in the middle. Now, these guys, Mark especially as a sophomore, he has a tendency to get high. That could be a problem.
The fullback, Harold Green, 3 carries, 19 yards. 4 carries for about 22 yards. Hammered backwards by Stubbs. Stubbs, 6'4", 250, 63 tackles, 8.5 sacks coming in. Just stood Green up and drove him backwards. Spotted at the hash mark, near side, just outside the 25-yard line. Gamecocks taking the initial possession, moving right down on the Canes. Smith and Sharp wide to the left. White and Bethea come wide to the right. White in motion. Ellis fires. Incomplete at the 12-yard line, looking for Ryan Bethea on a post. Blades was back on the coverage, the senior out of Fort Lauderdale. The ball a little bit high, but they couldn't hang on. Might have heard some footsteps.
That ball was there, Jim. That ball was there, but they should have had it. Thing to remember, too, about the run and shoot, it is the run and shoot. They would rather run first and then shoot. This is not necessarily just a passing team for South Carolina.
3rd and 7. White goes in motion, top of the screen. Draw play. Down to the 23 goes Harold Green. Derwin Jones, the senior out of Miami, 6'4", 275 with 53 tackles and 4 sacks on the stop. 11 minutes left to go in the first quarter, so the Gamecocks have run off 4 minutes. Rodney Price will put it down near the hash mark near side. This will be a 40-yard try for the true freshman Colin Mackey. 20 of 27 on the field goal tries, and he is 4 of 7 between 40 and 49 yards. On its way, plenty of distance. It is good. A 40-yard field goal by Colin Mackey. 10:40 left to go in the first quarter, and South Carolina strikes first against second-ranked Miami. South Carolina taking the opening possession. They used up 4 minutes and 20 seconds, a 40-yard field goal, and Eric Markle will kick off, the freshman out of Russellville, Arkansas. Randall Hill, number 3, is back deep, along with Alex Johnson, number 21. Kick is high. It is end over end. It's deep, about 2 yards in the end zone. Randall Hill will run it out. Randall Hill. A 36-yard kickoff return gives Miami Hurricanes a good offensive start. Let's meet them.
Steve Walsh completes 59% of his passes. He doesn't have the gun that Testaverde had, but he's very smart and makes few mistakes. Melvin Bratton, the #1 pick in the draft. Warren Williams, very underrated for the Hurricanes. The receivers are excellent. The 2 outside guys, Blades and Irvin, are speed burners, big play guys. Patchen, a run blocker. O'Neal, the best pass blocker. And then Big Daddy, Sugar Daddy, Rod Holder at center. Injured early, but playing very well now.
Gamecocks show the blitz. They're coming, and down goes Walsh. The strong safety, Greg Philpott, number 25. Second sack on the year, loose football, and did South Carolina get it? There'll be a little conclave of the officials, but South Carolina says they've got it. Roy Hart recovered that fumble on the sack by Philpott.
Jimmy, I don't know that this was not offsides. I think there was a mess up on the snap. Not everybody got up. There looked to me like there were some people in the neutral zone. Miami never had a chance. Walsh never from the back. And you can see Hart right in there in the middle of a bunch of Miami players making the recovery. That is Carolina's game. Pressure. And you don't even need defensive backs if you get there that quick.
Big break for the Gamecocks early. Play action fake. Ellis out of the pocket. Canes didn't buy it, and a sack by Greg Mark, the sophomore out of Pennsauken, New Jersey. 6'4", 232, his 8th sack this year.
That puts Mark just a half a sack behind Daniel Stubbs. That's how good he is. That's why he's in there as a pass rusher. He's not in there for the running game. Miami can be run at up the middle. But boy, if the play action pass doesn't fool them, they're going to be all over you as they were on that play.
9.5 to go. The Hurricanes have had the ball for 1 snap, and they fumbled it. Before the Notre Dame game, Miami had only turned the ball over 9 times. 2nd and 19. Ellis fires it on a rope. Incomplete. And if that wasn't pass interference at the 15-yard line, Sharp was pushed by Darrell Fullington. The ball was in the air. No call. Incredible.
Jimmy, I saw it too. No question about it. It certainly looked like pass interference to me.
Watch right here.
That's number 2 Sharp, and that's 19 Fullington. Shannon, 22 Shannon. And that is definitely pass interference, no call.
9:19 left to go. Clock stopped on the incompleted pass. Ellis 1 out of 3 for 14 yards. He'll need 19 here.
There's no argument there by Sharp either, which is kind of strange.
Sharp goes in motion. Ellis dumps it off to Green. Nice move. Down close to the 32-yard line, where Randy Shannon, the junior out of Miami, makes the stop. Well, we'll see another field goal try with 9 minutes and counting left in a scoreless first quarter for Miami. They are second ranked. They are number 3 in scoring defense.
South Carolina has never scored more than 14 points in a game on Miami. Well, these points are big early. I'm sure that's in the back of somebody's mind. The fact that they can score is going to be important to them.
A 48-yard field goal try. Good. 2 in a row. One from 40, the other from 48. The Gamecocks lead after the turnover, 6-0. Eric Markle out of Russellville, Arkansas, 5'9", 170, sends it high, end over end. This one is short, and at the 8, it's Randall Hill. Good move. If he gets outside, he's got the wall. Out of bounds. Chased out by Robert Robinson, number 36, a reserve cornerback. A return of 23 yards by Randall Hill. The first one went for 34.
Well, it's no accident. This guy averages almost 28 yards on a run back. They say he's exciting, and this is pretty exciting. But Carolina does a great job of keeping leverage on the backside. There's nothing here for him. A couple of yards, but see, there's people waiting outside to push him out of bounds. Good job by Carolina on the backside.
You see the Gamecocks showing a blitz once again. Now, Steve Walsh has not faced a blitz attack all season long like he's seeing tonight. It was a concern of Jimmy Johnson all week. Quick drop, quick release, safety valves it out to Warren Williams. Williams dances across the 35, chased out by Roy Hart, the nose guard. Let's meet those Gamecocks defensively.
This is the second-ranked defensive unit in the country. Roy Hart, a key performer tonight against the run. He's the guy that recovered the fumble. Now, these linebackers or defensive ends on the outside will move around, and they'll come hard from the outside. Same on the inside. Hinton and McKiernan, they're not great linebackers, but they jump around all night. The corners are the key. Floyd and Robinson, they play man-to-man, and they've got to do the job. Philpott and Edwards, excellent safeties. Edwards, the free safety's got 8 interceptions.
Walsh on 2nd and 3, flares it out, incomplete at the 40, looking for Warren Williams out of the backfield. Matt McKernan, outside linebacker, junior out of Daytona Beach, right with him.
And I think that's important. If they got a linebacker isolated on Williams, the ball was not complete, but we'll see that again. Now, what Carolina does defensively when they come like that, whatever Miami does offensively, they have to do it quick, and they have to do it with precision. You can see by those numbers that that's been their game all year. But I don't think they faced a defense that gambles and is just as outrageously a gambling defense as South Carolina's is.
Walsh with an audible, looks at 8 coming at him. Needs 3. First down to Mike Irvin. Back there in the coverage, Brad Edwards. Edwards, number 27, with 8 interceptions. Edwards also playing with intestinal flu tonight. A little woozy after last night's workout.
Yeah, Irvin could make him woozy. Boy, what nerve they have to put a free safety man-to-man on the slot. They did it right here with just 3 yards to go. If he misses that tackle, Irvin is gone. Now, they're going to run little pick plays all night, and if they have the time to complete those things, you could see a pass and a long run off a pass.
That was Miami's first down. It comes with 7:50 left in the first quarter. Out of the grasp with one of the South Carolina Gamecocks. Up near the 47 goes Melvin Bratton out of Miami, and Roy Hart, number 54, out of Tifton, Georgia, on the stop.
6 foot, 272 pounds. He slips the first block, gets a shot in the throat, but he does what a defensive player has to do. He keeps his feet, works down the line, and he's able to get into position. Another thing about Carolina's defense, the way they stunt, jump around, big plays, alleys will open up, and you can pull a big one off on them.
2nd and 8. Walsh has a flood to the right. And on the check with me offense, Jimmy Johnson gives his quarterback flexibility. Blitzes on, penalty flag down. Walsh to midfield inside South Carolina territory, wrestled out of bounds at the 45 of the Gamecocks. Brad Edwards on the stop, but there's a flag to be checked out. Terry Monk is our referee. Offsides, South Carolina. Talking about Steve Walsh, coaches said that one of the things they'd like to see him work on, Kevin, a little bit more strength. Now, very few will have the arm of a Vinny Testaverde, but they'd like to see him put on just a couple of pounds, increase that arm strength a little bit.
Well, he doesn't have the ability. They're more of a controlled passing team now. With Vinny, they could just go 35 yards on a line down the field. They can't do that now.
Hurricanes took the play, declined the penalty, stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Last year's Defensive Player of the Year, number 54, Roy Hart, on the stop of Melvin Bratton.
Rod Holder, the center, number 64 for Miami, outweighed by about 20 pounds by Hart. Doesn't use his strength, uses his quickness to slip the block and cut over into the hole and get Bratton. Now, you can get away with that sometimes, but middle guards that can have a tendency to pick a side, the back will do the same thing. He'll hesitate for a moment, wait till you pick a side, he'll go the other way. Got to be careful. He can't do that on every play.
Blades comes to the near side. Irvin, top of the screen, on 2nd and 11. Walsh looks at a blitz, and here it comes. Batted up, incomplete at midfield, might have been picked off. Wilson, the sophomore from Middlesex, New Jersey, number 92, is 6'2", 263, and he deflected the ball. Had Roy Hart seen it, he could have picked it off.
Speaking with Joe Lee Dunn, the defensive coordinator for South Carolina yesterday, he told us he studied the Tennessee films, Tennessee and Miami of a few years ago, and how Tennessee blitzed Miami and created a lot of problems for their offense. And it appears that the Gamecocks are going to do just that, try to create confusion.
3rd and 11. Again, the audible by Steve Walsh. 8 men up front. Blitz is on again. Walsh unloads. Caught! And this could be 6. Irvin will score.
Okay, the trips formation is what did it. Michael Irvin, his 26th career touchdown, and that's his 33rd straight catch in a game, or pass, at least one pass. Great performance.
Greg Cox will try to make it 7-6 Hurricanes. He does, out of the hold of Jeff Beagles. Just a post.
Trips formation, but what they did, they brought all the defensive backs to that side of the field, and Wall standing in there against the blitz, hit him perfectly. And this is the pass and run I was talking about. There's no way you catch these two guys, either Irvin or Blades, once they catch the ball.
And Floyd, 29, who was back there in the coverage, looked to trip just before the catch was made. Touchdown number 6 of the year for Irwin.
My true love sent to me, do 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 do, 8 ba 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 7. My golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Tower Records brings you Pet Shop Boys with their best album yet, Introspective. Pet Shop Boys, Introspective, out now from Tower Records, Piccadilly Circus and Kensington High Street.
Old Spice, the classic masculine fragrance. The mark of a man.
Welcome back. At the end of the first quarter, the number 2 Miami Hurricanes lead the number 8 South Carolina Gamecocks by 1 point. We rejoin play just after the start of the second quarter. South Carolina have the ball at their own 43-yard line.
2nd and 8. Sharp wide to the left. Danny Smith is outside. He has yet to have the ball thrown to him. Quick out. Sharp's got it. Looks for a block. Dives up to the 49. 3rd and 2 coming up. Randy Shannon, the junior out of Miami, the strong side linebacker on the stop. Todd Ellis starting to heat up. There's Sterling Sharp and what he has done so far. South Carolina's all-time leader. As far as receiving is concerned, I think he's a number 1 pick.
Absolutely. Gil Brandt says he's one of the top 11 players in the country. College football players, not just receivers.
Driven backwards by Jimmy Jones is Harold Green.
Forward progress here. Jim is going to be very close to a first down. He made the hit right at the first down marker.
Looks like he's going to be maybe the length of the football shy. It'll bring up a 4th and again the length of the football. Now early in the first quarter, Joe Morrison, head coach of South Carolina, gambled and went for it. Todd Ellis says 4th and about a foot, coach.
He could request a measurement. I would request a measurement here.
Gamecocks will go for it again.
Well, they were successful on a quarterback sneak to the right. Now you can look for Miami to fill that hole immediately.
Woody Myers, the senior center out of Kingstree, South Carolina, sets them down. They only need a foot. Pitch back, Green, first down, and more at the 45 of Miami. Myra, the middle linebacker, the senior, number 45, on the stop. They looked a little out of sync just before the snap.
It was a quick snap on first sound. You're right, and they did catch Miami just a little bit late. In fact, looked like they caught themselves late, but Green doing a nice job jumping over the pile and making the first down. Does things instinctively that you don't teach. That's what the coaching people say about him, his own coaches. He just has those moves that you can't tell a guy, do this, do that. He does them on his own.
Big play style, slashing runner. Coaches call him a thoroughbred. Big first down. Sharp motions top of the screen. Ellis gives it to Green, slashes. Picks up 8, 2nd down and 2. Fullington, the strong safety, made the stop on Harold Green out of Stratford High School in Ladson, South Carolina, where he gained over 4,411 yards in high school. There's what he's done with his Gamecock career. Green, 11 rushes, 47 yards. How about the offensive line of South Carolina? They've been doing a pretty good job on the defensive front.
I'll talk about them in a minute. Their philosophy offensively the same as defense.
Sharp didn't know where to line up. Green dives close to first down yardage. Another penalty flag goes down. Daniel Stubbs on his 7th solo tackle. Motion against the Gamecocks. Interesting story on Stubbs, number 96. They call him Stubby K. He is 6'4", 250 pounds, but for a while, they weren't sure what size he would be. He was allergic to a whole lot of things, had some respiratory problems because of the ailments. In fact, his family had to move from Red Bank, New Jersey to Dover, Delaware, and the doctor there finally offered a series of shots to soothe some of the respiratory problems. And Stubby K, as he's called, grew up to be a healthy, happy young lad at 6'4", 250 pounds, 4.8 speed. How about that? Is that a complete package?
Credit his dad, too. His dad moved the family to Dover for his health, but stayed in Red Bank because that's where his job was and made the commute on weekends, and that's some dedication to your family.
2nd and 7 after the penalty. Kevin White motions near side. Now says, what's the play to Sterling Sharp? Sharp calls the play out to Danny Smith, like a bucket brigade. Over the middle, a diving, sliding catch. Was it caught? Ryan Buffet. Hurricanes are saying incomplete. What do the officials say? Incomplete. A little taunting going down on the field.
That was Darrell Fullington. Now this thing's a short hop, but they took a shot early in the game, and I think you'll see it again. Fullington trying to get in there. Now, Miami does have a little bit of a reputation, talks a lot on the field. They make a lot of movements, a lot of gestures. Irvin was doing it earlier. This is a 7-6 game, and I don't know if I'd want to aggravate South Carolina in a close game and get them up and make them play harder.
Gamecocks are 1 for 5 on third down conversions, 2 for 2 on fourth down. Loose football. And they're saying no. Incomplete. And there's another penalty flag at the 35-yard line. Stubbs made the hit. Too much time against South Carolina.
That's why that was a fumble, Jim. I think what they're saying was that the play was dead before the ball was snapped, because that really looked like a fumble to me.
Watch Stubbs, 96.
He's coming around the corner. They're trying to hold him, not getting it done. That actually was a good penalty for South Carolina. If it wasn't delay of the game, it would have been a turnover.
Boy, you see Todd Ellis get sacked. Kind of reminds you of last year against the Hurricanes. First time he saw a couple of those canes, Jerome Brown said, "Watch out, Todd, we're coming at you." Todd looked into their eyes and said, "What am I doing out in the field with these guys?" Needs 12. Post is open. Sterling Sharp breaks it outside. First down, headed to the end zone. Sterling Sharp will score. "47 yards, the 5th receiving touchdown for Sharp. Todd Ellis, his 10th touchdown toss on the year, and the Gamecocks go back in front. That run and shoot offense of Frank Sadler. Colin Mackey will try to increase the Gamecock lead out of the hold of Rodney Price. Perfect. And South Carolina, they led 6-0. They go back in front, 13-7, 9:55 to go.
Sharp number 2, Bailey number 23, not even close. Some great blocks downfield and crossing patterns to great receivers. This is what happens. He outruns Bailey. There's a block to the left, another block there on Fullington. And that's why Sharp is an All-American, and that's why South Carolina is so dangerous, and that's why you don't want to get these guys mad.
Sterling Sharp, number 1 draft pick, and Todd Ellis, his 10th touchdown toss of the year. Gamecocks are back in front over second-ranked Miami. 9:55 left to go before halftime. South Carolina, ranked number 9 in the country, going to the Gator Bowl for a date against Mike Archer of the LSU Tigers, leading the Hurricanes 13-7. Markle drives this one high and deep, end over end to Randall Hill. Another big return. This one thwarted, though, at the 21-yard line. Patrick Hinton, the freshman, on the stop. Let's look at that last touchdown.
Watch it from a wide angle. Top of your screen, inside slot number 2, Sharp, covered by Bailey. It's going to be man-to-man coverage by Bailey. And watch, you take a guy with great speed, you run him on a crossing pattern, he'll outrun the coverage. See, Bailey, he's beaten right now. They get the ball to him. Now watch the blocks on the corner by the wide receivers. Ellis just goes down, number 29. That's White, who makes a block at the 5-yard line. And Sharp, not going out of bounds, using that great speed, cutting ability to go up into the end zone. Great offense by Carolina.
Just a simple dump off. It goes to Mike Irvin, and look out, it's a track meet now. Upended at the 37-yard line by the man they call Chief, Kevin Hendricks. He is part Indian, and he chased down the speedball, Mike Irvin.
Here's what Joe Lee Dunn was afraid of. Again, we talked about it. A short pass and a run inside. Everybody outruns it. And the guy that runs him down, Hendricks, is 250 pounds. What an effort by Kevin Hendricks, or else Irvin's gone once again.
Irvin now 5 catches, 109 yards, and we've still got 9.5 left in the first half. He's conducting a clinic. Walt. Irvin again. He is so poised and so relaxed after he catches the ball. Floyd back there on the coverage, a junior college transfer last year out of Greenville, South Carolina.
Well, Jimmy ought to be poised. There's nobody within 10 yards of him, and that's another thing about Joe Lee Dunn's philosophy. He wants his corners about 8 yards off the wide receivers, even though they're playing man-to-man. This is the result. Michael Irvin, 6 receptions, 115 yards and a touchdown, and another close one. The reason he does that, Joe Lee, because he wants the corners to be able to look into the backfield and see if it's a running play and be able to react, giving these guys too much room.
Walsh, all kinds of time. The middle's open, incomplete at the 2-yard line for Brett Harriman. Walsh knows he missed 6.
The thing about a quarterback, when you tell when a quarterback has poise, is when he sits in the pocket and his feet don't stutter. And he's able to look over the whole field. You saw it all from Walsh on that play. He was trying to go to the far sideline. Carolina was there. He surveyed the field, kept his feet steady, had a solid pace, and then just lofted that ball a little long down the middle. Even though an incompletion, showed me a lot from Steve Walsh.
There's what Steve has done so far. Irvin, 6 catches, 115 yards. Walsh looks, fires over the middle. It's dropped. Dropped. He did not have control at the 26. Alfredo Roberts, the senior tight end out of Fort Lauderdale.
Well, you know, the official who made the call broke up the play. Alfredo tripped over the official, and that's why the ball was incomplete. It was the same official that made the call. Watch Roberts, number 87, right over the middle. This ball is there. Now look at the official. He gets in the way, and then as Roberts goes down, he catches it, puts the ball on the ground as he's falling, and it's incomplete. It's a good call by the official, but hey, stay out of the way.
Greg Cox will try a 47-yard field goal. He's 7 of 10 between 40 and 47 yards. Hash mark near side. Jeff Beagles the punter. It's a fake. Beagles the punter. One man to beat. First and goal, Hurricanes. Penalty flag is down. Edwards might be guilty of the face mask. 2 games in a row. Jimmy Johnson has gone to a fake punt. They did it last week, or fake play. Last week against Notre Dame, it was a fake punt. Now they go with a fake field goal, and Beagles picks up 23 yards, and it'll be half the distance inside the 5 after the face mask.
Give him credit for trying it. Beagles never thinking about anything else. The thing opens up perfectly. Eagles must be wondering what he's doing out there all alone before he's dragged down. And there's the face mask by Brad Edwards. Boy, that'll take the heart out of your defense. Jimmy Johnson, give him credit. He'll try just about anything.
There's our score. 9 minutes and 8 seconds left to go before halftime. And before that 23-yard pickup by Beagles, Miami had just 1 yard on the ground. Well, 1 rushing yard.
Jimmy, I love to play for a guy who'll try things like that. It's fun.
Williams dances, could not get outside because Scott Windsor, number 80, the sophomore out of Snellville, Georgia, stayed right there, number 20.
9 South Carolina defensive players within 5 yards of the ball when he went down. Look at them all coming back. Great team speed. If I was going to attack Carolina on the goal line, I'd go right up the middle if I was going to play it on the ground. And here you got to watch out for the tight end and a quick back out of the backfield.
I'd watch out for Mike Irvin anywhere. He's had things his own way. 115 yards, still 8.5 to go. There goes Melvin Bratton. Bratton. Oh, what a collision. Touchdown. He just put the helmet down, and the last 2 yards was all Melvin Bratton. He ran right over Robinson and Edwards. "32 touchdowns for Melvin Bratton, the most ever by a Miami Hurricane. Beagles, who picked up 23 yards of the big first down, puts it down for Greg Cox as we seesaw back and forth. And watch Bratton, who had 2 last week against Notre Dame.
Coming at you, 6'1", 223 pounds, a big train, and he can score. He spells the goal line. Once he gets him square right there, look at the power. And just inside. Official right there to make the call.
Jimmy Johnson watching Bratton run over Brad Edwards and Robert Robinson. He gets the touchdown.
My true love sent to me, do 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 do, 8 ba 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 7. My golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Call yourself water and shock resistant? You ain't got no goals, you ain't got no juice. You're rubbish, mate. Just wanted me Seconda up.
Othello takes a minute to learn, but a lifetime to master. Othello, the classic strategy game.
Our price. This is a house attack. The greatest hits of house are out on the streets. The ultimate double album for the serious house purchaser. 32 mega house hits, including Stacker Humanoid, Bomb the Bass, Hit House.
Yeah, you know house.
The Jungle Brothers, Todd Terry Project, and the latest smash from Yaz. The greatest hits of house. 2 hours of music at over 270 Our Price record shops.
Welcome back. No further score in the first half, although Miami did get the ball to the South Carolina 17-yard line in the closing minute, only to see this Steve Walsh pass intercepted by linebacker Patrick Hinton. So as we rejoin early in the second half, Miami lead 14-13. South Carolina have the ball, but have been forced to start the drive from their own goal line following a Miami punt.
Ellis over the right side behind Woody Myers and Calvin Stevens and Mark Fryer. Jimmy Johnson against the Irish had a fake punt, and against the Gamecocks tonight, that fake field goal. Eagles took it 23 yards for a big first down, led to Bratton's touchdown dive, and the Gamecocks with a 1-point deficit trail it 14-13. Jimmy Johnson has won 31 straight games. Last time they lost, 1985, to Florida. It was Vinny Testaverde's debut. Out of the end zone, incomplete at the 28-yard line. Ryan Bethea on the fly.
And he was open. Ellis missed him.
Well, we talked about Todd Ellis being perhaps the most popular athlete in the state of South Carolina. They alternate boy, girl, at the dorms in South Carolina. So Todd, when he was a freshman, was on the elevator. A girl got on, recognized him, and we'll pick up the story after this play. 3rd and 9.
I want to hear the end of that.
Dive play to the fullback, and the Gamecocks will punt. Great penetration. We'll come back and tell you what happened when the girl recognized Todd Ellis, but we've got 10:22 left to go. The Gamecocks will punt it away. Jones and Myra on the stop, along with Greg Mark. And the Hurricanes should come out of this with great field position, all set up by a 54-yard punt by Fiegel. If you're Rodney Price, you know the Canes are a-coming. 10 of them. No flag. He got it away. Price on his backside. Picked up at the 48 by Perriman. Outside. Penalty flags down. And out of bounds at the 33.
And that's a clip, and a bad clip on Miami. It's going to cost him 15 yards.
A 42-yard kick, a 16-yard return. Mr. Monk, our referee, how about in the end zone on Price? Was he going for the Academy Award, or was he roughed up a little bit?
Well, if he was going for it, he didn't get it.
Joe Morrison, in his 5th year as the head coach of the Gamecocks. Graduated from Cincinnati in 1959. All-Pro with the New York Giants for 14 seasons, played 8 different positions. Steve Walsh has just one position, and he's enjoying his best field position of the night. He starts from his own 44. He'll go up top. Over the middle on the post. This should be 6 for Brian Blades. Touchdown passes tonight. Numbers 18 and 19 on the season for Brian Blades. His 5th touchdown reception, his longest coming in, his longest reception on the year was 29 yards. That for 56 and 6 more points. Greg Cox will try to make it a 21-13 game. This one is partially blocked. That could come back and be a big missed extra point.
That's a big one. Now, this almost isn't fair. And if I can tell that Floyd is this tired from up here, now this is no contest. It's just a quick post. Protection is there. It's man coverage. Floyd's all by himself. This is practice. And look at Floyd. I mean, Floyd just doesn't have it. His legs are gone. They were gone early in the first half, and he just can't chase them anymore.
And how about Steve Walsh? He's thrown 2 touchdowns tonight out of St. Paul, Minnesota. Hurricanes by 7.
And that remained the score at the end of the 3rd quarter. South Carolina trailing by 1 touchdown. As we rejoin play at the start of the 4th quarter, the Gamecocks are in a position to level the scores. They have the ball at the Miami 8-yard line.
Out of the eye, pro set. Green and Bing. It's Bing. Chopped down for a loss of 2 as they run left. And Benny Blades, the senior out of Fort Lauderdale, snipped it out. That is Ernest Parrish, number 97 out of Miami of Florida, who was in replacing the injured Bill Hawkins. So the Hurricanes are hurting at the right defensive end. Clock is stopped, 14:48. There's the freshman. He was redshirted last year out of Columbia, South Carolina, Ike Harris. He is taken off number 88, and he's back to number 60.
No, 60 on his sleeve.
Right.
You can see he's got one of those pullover jerseys. Us defensive guys not that smart. That could drive you crazy.
We had the Heisman today, Tim Brown. Ed Marinero got quite a few votes. He came in second in the ballot. Coming out wide to the right. Ryan Buffet, single coverage. 3rd and 8. Motion by Hardin Brown. Rod Carter didn't buy it. Harold Green stacked up. We'll see the field goal try. Lots of time left. 14-18 and counting.
And the reason it's so difficult for Carolina, they do not have a legitimate tight end, and it's tough for them to run it in. They have to use deception on the goal line, but defensively, you're just coming. Here's 91 Rod Carter holding his ground, looking for that little draw play, and able to make the play. A lot of pressure. Your defensive philosophy is pressure on the goal line. The draws don't work that well.
Colin Mackey, a 28-yard field goal try. Rodney Price will put it down. This one is up and perfect. So for the Gamecocks, they pull to within 4. 13:51 left to go. Jimmy Johnson wants another undefeated season.
But his team are going to have to work hard to achieve it. On their next drive, they were forced to punt. And as we rejoin play, South Carolina have the ball at the Miami 45-yard line. It's 3rd down and 10.
Harold Green. Down, loose football. Miami's got it at the 42. Bain, I believe, stripped the ball as he ran into the helmet of Harold Green. And watch Daniel Stubbs, 96.
Well, there's some question. They're huddling about this, whether it was a fumble or not. The pass is complete to Green. He's going to try and work for extra yardage. Well, definitely a fumble, no question about it. But there's a big huddle at the middle of the field as Bain comes up with the ball. Now, we can see that it's a fumble, but the officials, of course, don't have that advantage.
9:51 left to go. It was an apparent fumble that the Hurricanes recovered right in front of the Miami bench, right in front of head coach Jimmy Johnson. It would give the Hurricanes the ball at the 41-yard line. Here's referee Terry Monk, who is not yet ready to tell the Orange Bowl crowd what his call will be. He's trying to get Jimmy Johnson to calm down. That may be his toughest battle of the night.
But consider the implications here. Consider the implications to Miami, Syracuse, Florida State, Nebraska, and to that man, Jimmy Johnson. This ball is in Miami territory.
We have an inadvertent whistle during the fumble. It was 3rd and 10, so we will replay the down. It's 3rd down.
Oh. 3rd and 10, an inadvertent whistle, and we will replay the down. Let's take another look. Watch the fumble clearly as Bain hits Harold Green.
Well, I don't know that you will be able to hear the whistle, but this is the inadvertent whistle heard around the world. This could affect 5 football teams in the national title. It's clearly a fumble. When was the whistle? There's your fumble. It's a tough one here, a tough one for Miami.
3rd and 10 for the Gamecocks. They trail by 4. Kevin White in motion. Flags are down. Now there's no flag there, and here come the Gamecocks, and we've got a free-for-all.
So a great football game deteriorates into the kind of mass fight usually only seen in ice hockey or baseball. When order was restored, both teams were given a penalty, which cancelled each other out, and the down was replayed. But to the horror of quarterback Todd Ellis, his pass was intercepted by Miami's George Myra. Miami were unable to score on the resulting drive, but they were able to run plenty of time off the clock. So as we rejoin the play, South Carolina, still only trailing by 4 points, have the ball at their own 11-yard line. 2 minutes, 37 seconds remain in the game.
Motion by Kevin White. Ellis fires. He's got Buffet. First down at the 30. Buffet fights up to the 34. Hangs onto the football, and Myra hangs on to Elvin Buffet. A pickup of 22. 1st and 10, South Carolina.
Well, I'll tell you, this is where you earn greatness. If you want to be considered a great quarterback, a guy like Todd Ellis, he'll never be considered great until he leads them back in a game like this, and this is a test. 2-minute drill here for Ellis.
Motion by Sterling Sharp. Harold Green tracks over the right side behind Calvin Stevens, and Mark Fryer hammered backwards, but not before he fought his way for 2 tough yards. Jimmy Jones, the first orange jersey to arrive. Well, you talk about leading him on a great drive. Maybe Todd Ellis is thinking about that tape. Not Nebraska, but it's Miami, and it's before a national television audience. It'd be a great game to pull out.
I think when you go to college to play, this is all you could hope for is a game like this.
It's what it's all about. You go to college for games like this. Green, 29 carries, 108 yards. Blitz, Ellis dumps it off. His arm was in motion. It's an incompleted pass. Greg Mark got there, 6'4", 232 out of Pensacola, New Jersey.
And Mark has made some big plays. They really haven't exploited him on the running game, but he's really done it on the passing game. Remember the interception on the screen play late in the 2nd quarter? And here he's using that speed and agility on the backside on Todd Ellis. 3rd down.
6 defensive backs in for the Hurricanes. Ellis over the middle, batted down at the 49-yard line by George Mara.
The rule for a linebacker is when you play in the zone in the middle, you get deep, keep it in front of you. If you don't see anything in front of you, see there's nobody in front of him, keep dropping, George, and you'll drop right in front of a receiver. He never turned his head, but he was right in front of sharp where he should be, and that's great coaching and great learning over the years by Mara.
4th and 6. This is the ball game for South Carolina. They don't get the first down, they're out. Ellis puts it up, a floater, out of bounds. Looking for Danny Smith. That one had no chance. Jimmy Johnson and his Hurricanes. A minute 24 away from an 11-0 record and a date with the Sooners of Oklahoma here in the Orange Bowl.
And Miami took possession of the ball and simply ran the clock down to end the brave challenge of South Carolina. Coach Jimmy Johnson got his victory ride and his 2nd successive unbeaten regular season at Miami, an outstanding record. The final score, South Carolina 16, Miami 20.